Hello, Tom Levecchia here with the continuation of the New Theory podcast, following the theme of men. We just had Dr. Douglas S. Steinbrück on, who set up a practice around male aesthetics in New York and has recently expanded out to LA. I'm a little jet lagged. We just got back from our LA trip. And now, today, we are speaking to Trent Gander, who will teach us men how to behave. Trent, how you doing today?
I'm doing well despite the weather. I can't complain too much.
All right, where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from northern Illinois, a small town, not small compared to Chicago, but it's in the area where people say, oh, you're from Chicago.
Got it, kind of a suburb. All right, give us where you grew up, if it's Chicago in that area. Give us where you grew up, your formative years, and then how you got into male consulting, if you will.
Well, I grew up in the country. I've lived outside of 15 minutes outside of town called Cherry, which was famous for its mine disaster, one of the greatest tragedies in all of Illinois history. And I spent pretty much most of my time alone for most of my life. It was just me and my immediate family because we didn't go very many places. And I pretty much spent most of my life in quiet contemplation, I guess you would say. And I noticed that I was very socially awkward from pretty much 12 to an extent now. I wanted to...
How old are you, Trent?
I am going to be 22 this September.
Okay. But you're not that socially awkward if you're on a podcast.
Yeah, I had to kind of conquer that part, but I still get a bit nervous when I'm going to start talking to new people.
Okay. All right. So really quick, let me catch up here. So you started off in Chicago area, suburb, let's call it. You grew up kind of, let's call it a loner, kind of quiet, but now you're getting into a space that requires interaction. So let's first talk about what vehicle, what medium, or did you do it yourself, on how to get over that sphere of interaction? Because that's actually important.
The fear of interaction is best conquered when you have an internal strength. And for me, I had to find something that made me feel confident. This was kind of thrust upon me because I was started to attend a youth symphony. So there's other people there, and for the first half of the time I was there, I didn't talk to anyone. I just showed up, played my instrument, went home. And I started having to interact with more people, and I realized if I'm going to be, getting work and doing jobs and stuff, I'm going to have to interact with people. So I might as well do it in such a way that we're both, I guess you would say, edified, or we both enjoy the interaction, and it's not like I'm slowly cutting off part of myself with a spoon every time I have to talk to someone. And
okay, so what, you use music or use interaction within the symphony? Expediently give us the touch point, how you did it.
I did it I became confident in a set of information that necessarily was not part of interacting, but I could take concepts from it. But unfortunately, it was martial arts. So major parts of martial arts is you control the body, you control the mind, and you have to train the mind in order to train the body. So I had to get discipline, which came from the music. I had to stay in tune, I had to stay in tempo with the conductor, and I had to become disciplined in order to control myself so that I could begin to reach out to others.
All right, so you conquered the fear of a mix of vehicles, martial arts, music. You found a medium, you get stuck with it, and then you conquered your fear. That's great, right? And I don't want to downplay that because that's critical because we're setting you up here, right? Now,
yeah.
What the hell do you do exactly?
I primarily focus on information. How people manipulate each other is the largest basis of what I do. And I'm going to shift it over to you for a bit. Think of how many ads you see every single day on social media, on the internet. How many do you think you see a day? Ballpark estimate.
Can you elaborate on that though? Because I want to dig a little deeper.
Okay, I need a setup right here. How many ads online, like on the sidelines, for you to buy a product? What do you, in a ballpark estimate, think you see every single day when you're online?
Well, I'm a digital marketer, so I probably know more than most. I heard at the low end 100 as much as 1,200. When you go to the new theory, we probably should, but we don't stuff our pages. So you get 3 impressions every time you go on a page, and people visit our site an average of 4 pages. So you get 12 impressions from us. I would say probably about 1,000 to 1,200 per day.
Okay, so ads are one branch of manipulation.
They're one channel of promotion, correct?
Yes. So manipulation, there are 2 large types of manipulation. I'm getting ahead of myself. There's manipulation of the individual, which we can see every day through ads online. And then there's manipulation of large groups of people. Some of the things I was planning to bring up for this involve how today in the United States we're not producing very capable people. One of my goals is to help people become more capable. And the thing of it is that we have to realize how we are manipulated and how we are somewhat forced into doing something we may not originally have wanted to do, such as buy a product. I mean, I've never really encountered anyone who's wanted to spend money. And marketing is pretty much an entire end goal is to get you to spend money. I mean, no business can run if it doesn't have an income. Well, at least run for long.
Yeah, but Trent.
Yeah,
so,
right.
All right. So, you know what? I get what you're saying. Let's keep it simple. We are, what owns New Theory is a digital marketing agency, X Factor Media, right? And our goal is to, depending on the type of campaign, it could be an awareness campaign to get a message out about a brand or product. It could be acquisition to get clients, or it could be loyalty, which is to kind of create loyalty and advocacy from clients. So there's different parts of the purchasing spectrum. That's given, right? And we have a little bit more of an intelligent audience. I'm not saying other listeners are dumb, but generally for New Theory, we're not myself, but I'm not a millennial. I'm a Gen Xer on the cusp, but are generally millennials, educated, and our podcast is entrepreneurial. So you're singing to the choir here. I get it. You grew up with adversity. You were kind of shy. You got over it, right? And then you're like, people see a lot of ads. I want to cut through those ads. And then people need some assistance. So give me, I'm 41, right? I probably could dress better. I probably can be in a little better shape. I can probably talk less. I interrupt our clients all the time, guests all the time. But I think that's why people listen, because I have ADD and I get to it. How would you help somebody like me?
Well, first of all, I can only see your profile picture right now, and it seems to be like you're wearing something that's a polo, and you have a very bland background. So let's see, how would we help you? All right, so you said you interrupt people a lot of time. Can't really do much about that. That's more of your personal style. So we can capitalize on that by marketing you as that you get to the point. You've already mentioned that. Let's see. I can't really, because I haven't studied you long enough to be able to give you a snap decision. Most of our communication is nonverbal. It's our intonation and how we carry ourselves that projects what we need to do or what we're trying to communicate.
All right, hold on, Trent. I get that, right? But what I'm not getting a feel for is, do you help me, my brand, let's say the New Theory podcast, and you help my branding, my likeness, what to wear for photo shoots, what to say during the call, and how to promote it? Or are you my personal side on how to meet women and how to get in better shape and how to maybe live a more fulfilling life? Are you more the business side of me or the personal? What's your specialty?
My specialty would probably be more along the lines of business and you interacting with people, not you getting dates or you getting fit. I'm not, I'll take in something from an old film. I can't make anyone fall in love.
Okay, so you're a business consultant for men. Give us an example of a successful client. Where were they before they met Trent? Where were they after they met Trent?
None. I have had zero success. That's going to completely destroy my credibility, I know. But I would rather be upfront with people and say, oh yeah, I have a fantastic base. I have no one.
Okay, so this is getting interesting. Okay, so you got on this podcast, and you're following a plastic surgeon. The guy's actually a worldwide plastic surgeon. We had the guy that started Founder Magazine, Nathan Lacka, who is a millionaire podcaster himself, Jeremy Slade, who's like, you're in like a pretty good group. You got on the show, so you got something redeemable, right? So you're starting out. What's your game plan or your personal plan on how to get yourself out there? So the next time we have you on in 2 years, you're making 7 figures.
Okay, so my basic plans based off of what the military would call guerrilla warfare. I have low resources. I have almost no personnel, but I have a conviction and I have a goal. And that is to create as many capable individuals to carry on my work, even as far as if I die, my work will continue on. And they will make people so that they are less likely to succumb to being tricked into something, so that they have basics of, okay, I'm expecting X, Y, Z.
Yeah, but Trent, you're kind of contradicting yourself a little bit. You're worried about people getting manipulated. Yes or no answer. You're worried about people getting manipulated.
Absolutely.
Okay, yet you want me to I'm going to hire you, right? And I'm going to use you to help manipulate, using your word, manipulate people to come on the show. So I'm confused. Are you trying to prevent manipulation, right? Or you trying to help manipulate people to come on the show so I can increase my audience and increase my business? Which is it?
Yes, that's the simple answer. I view myself partially, I had to come to grips with, I am a white hat con man. Okay?
Okay, I kind of like that. I get that. But a white hat con man is basically Madison Avenue, ad exec. But I got you.
Yeah. So taking the concept of black hat and white hat hackers, I have to become my enemy in order to figure out how and why they are successful, in order to, for lack of a better term, screw over their success.
All right, Trent, here's what we're going to do, because I don't want this interview to suck. We're going to get right to it. Do you have any clients right now? It's no is okay. Do you have any clients right now?
Absolutely not.
Okay. So how do you plan on getting your first client?
Well,
specific. Yeah, you have one sentence or less specifically. Don't give me like pie in the sky. How will Trent get his first client?
Trent will get his first client through doing things like this, getting his name out there.
Okay, but here's the thing, though. PR is good, right? And PR is one channel. But, for example, when I launched my book, I dropped like 10 grand in PR. I did like 50 radio shows. I might have sold one book. So people think, and this is actually a good podcast. I'll tell you why. There's a lot of people starting out where you are. So PR as a driver and strategy is good. And it's nice to build authority. And once we hang up, and once you're posted, you can use new theory to help increase your credibility. I'm with you on that, right? But that's just PR. How are you going to get your first client? Because I can give you some recommendations, which I charge for. In the interest of good radio, I'll do it today. But give me how you will get your first client.
I will admit that I have absolutely
here's how you're going to get your first client. Okay, we're going to turn this podcast into a positive, a real positive. You start a business, you hang a shingle, you got passionate, you got over some fears. You're going to grab your phone, right? And although you may not know as many people, maybe as I do, because I'm a little bit older, but you're going to go through your phone or your Facebook or your Instagram, and you're going to look into somebody that may possibly benefit from your service. Okay? Now, you are going to contact 3 of them. And what you're going to do is, because right now you're in the beginning, you're going to offer your services for free for all 3. Okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to rock it out for them as a case study. Now, it's not free, meaning they have to sign something saying, hey, it's a case study, that your case study will be used in promotion, and if possible, they'd be a referral source. So once you do your campaign for those 3 people, you rock it out, they become advocates, and then you start promoting your brand. That's step 1. Step 2, how's your social media? I'm gonna think not great. How's your social media?
I think it's 53 likes on my Facebook page.
Okay. What you're going to do is you're going to start creating content on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram on tips, and you're going to give your tips away for free on, hey guys, here are 5 ways to get your brand going. Here are 3 ways to elevate your business. And you're going to give some content, and you're going to keep doing 1, 2, if not 5 pieces a day on these social mediums until you start to build an audience. So between your 3 case studies, between your personal network, between your small ecosystem you're going to build online, in 6 or 7 weeks, you will start getting your paid clients. What do you plan to charge your clients?
Well, I would plan for the low tier for $20 an hour.
Okay, $20 an hour. Okay, now, that's very low, but you also don't have a lot of credibility. So you should still continue to do the PR, continue to do podcasts, continue to do all that, right? But hold off on doing them till you can say, hey, Tom, I did my case study. We're halfway through. We worked with this male, I'm making this up, this small male underwear manufacturer, and they were not doing so great. I came on. We redesigned the logo. We redesigned the messaging. I sat with the CEO and told him on some tips on how to be more approachable. They rolled out this campaign, and in 6 weeks, they got sales increase of 15%, and they got a digital marketing impression increase of 20%. Just making this up. So you're a little way early on. I'm going to post this, though, because you're a good guy. I think you're trying to do the right thing. But more importantly, people need to know how to get their first clients. Is there anything do you agree with what I'm offering in terms of advice, or do you disagree?
I would primarily agree. It actually reminds me of a job I did in the past, which I did primarily as a copywriter. A guy was looking for help with a speech he was writing. And he said, I want a bit of the history, because he was doing a historical object. I'm not going to divulge all of it because I don't know if I can legally. And he says, I say this when I present said object, and I don't want it to be overly complicated. I have a wide audience who comes to buy these things, mainly military and more historically oriented people. So I took the job. It was a cheap job. And I thought, okay, we look into the history of the object. We bring in some of the history. Okay, it's good. He had 2 paragraphs, about 5 sentences each. So I added another paragraph of 5 sentences. It turned out I couldn't actually get paid because of a goof up on my PayPal. But he, in the interim between me contacting him to actually get paid privately, he had someone else look it over and completely crapped all over my work. Okay. Absolutely destroyed it.
Okay.
I had fantastic grammar, really good punctuation. It made sense. It was as grand as the product was supposed to be. And somebody else came in, put periods where they shouldn't have been, hacked up the syntax, and threw in a bunch of Latin. The guy says to me, I can't even read half of this stuff, let alone pronounce it. Can you help me?
Okay. What happened?
So I went in, I cut out the crap that the guy had done, I fixed how the phrases were, everything was good, and out of what it was equivalent about an hour's work over 2 different days, I got $25.
Okay, and what's your home situation? Are you living rent free? Do Do you have a flat? Do you got to pay rent? What are your financial commitments right now?
I have very little, if no, financial commitments. I live with my parents. I'm a statistical millennial.
Okay, now, what I'm gathering is while you do what I aforementioned earlier in terms of strategy, I think you should begin copywriting either on freelance Upwork, on those type sites to get some money in, and to, so you have money coming in, right? You got to make some money while you do those case studies. And that's what I recommend. And then, and then you're also welcome to contribute to newtheory.com. I'll accept you now as a contributor on a flyer because you seem like a great guy. And I think we should take it from there, And here's what the learning is. You need to start somewhere. I recommend personal network, not relying on PR, and then building up a small social media following to do it. And then first, you're going to have to give your services away for free or for cheap. And in your situation, because you don't have as many financial commitments, your best bet is to maybe do a little Upwork, etc., to get out there and then contribute to magazines like newtheory.com to get your name out there. And then perhaps you can start picking up some clients.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. So, Trent, it was great having you on the New Theory podcast. You're in good company. Candidly, I'd just be really straight with you. You're not a guest we would normally have on, but I'm happy that you're on because hopefully you got something from this. That's what New Theory is about. And then hopefully listeners that are kind of new to business could also benefit from as well. So, Trent, thank you for being on the show, and we'll be in touch.
Okay, thank you.